I'll do it this time. So we have that. So has everybody had a chance to set up their journal the way Anderson talked about in the reading?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought everybody had. I checked on the list. So okay, so I realize this is our first time meeting face to face, or so I say face to face. I want to be confusing. I call this face to face, but I realize it is virtual. I use that, I think, with Catherine. I think may have made you think you had to drive down here from wherever it is you're, Austin, I think, but that's not what I meant. Anyway, so do you have any questions about the class so far? I give that a moment to set and see if anything occurs.
Oh, actually, you mentioned, well, when we were doing the first homework assignments, that this class, well, it seems to be primarily for people who intend to teach.
Yes.
Okay. I do not intend to teach.
Okay. And you are absolutely welcome. You will certainly learn a lot more about writing and sharpen your writing skills in this class. But I'm not going to lie, it is a teacher training class. So,
okay.
So not a bad thing to have on your pocket in case you decide to go that route. But again, you are absolutely welcome. But I'm not going to try to wrangle you if that's not your area of interest. So,
okay.
Okay. So in our own experience, how many of y'all, either in elementary or high school, had a class that was run in the writing workshop style, where you mostly sat around, you wrote every day, you shared your work out loud with others, you got feedback from your classmates and the teachers, and eventually you worked stuff up in ways that was published in some way, either in the class or outside the classroom or in anthologies. So I'm not seeing a lot of people raising their hands like this is a familiar method of teaching. Oh, you have, America? You did? You're the only one. All right. So far, so good. Well, this is, although it's made it down to South Texas unevenly, I will say this is actually demonstrably the most effective way to teach writing that has been shown through research. Writing is a social thing. We are making reading for other people. We are making meaning, and we need to be using all of our languaging skills when we're learning to write. We need to write a lot. We need to read a lot, and we need to talk a lot with one another as well. We need real audiences for our writing. We need people to read stuff for us. And my own experience in education was largely, I wrote papers, I turned them into my teacher, I got a grade, generally with no feedback. I just got a grade across the top and got it handed back, and that was it as well. And I generally did okay, but it was always kind of a mystical black box. You know, either I made the teacher happy or not. That wasn't a great way to learn. So in the writing workshop method, you write every day, and it is a truism that is true that every day your school serves lunch is a day you should be teaching writing if you're an English teacher. So every day your school serves lunch, students should be writing. So I think schools serve lunch every day, so you kind of get the idea about how that works as well. And so what does that mean? Well, generally the teacher might have a topic or a lesson. They might talk about an idea or technique. The students will write for a while. They'll share their writing with each other. They'll get feedback on their writing, either from their classmates, from their teacher, or both. And either they'll continue writing or they'll go on to the next activity as well. I mean, I hate to say it's magic, but it really does work. If students write a lot, and notice when I say write a lot, not everything you write is going to be perfect. It's not going to be publishable. You do a lot of what's called low stakes writing. So if you've got an assignment coming up, you might try 2 or 3 different things and then choose the best one, and then use that to revise to become the paper that's going to get turned in as well. So lots of low stakes writing, lots of revision. Good writers do not get it right the first time. If somebody tells you that, it's literally not true. And lots of feedback and many people reading your work. And that's probably the most important thing, is people read what you write, which is what was lacking in my own education. And I should say this, with the exception of one teacher I had as a sophomore in high school, I absolutely hated English when I was in high school. I've always loved to read and write. So it's not that I didn't like to read, didn't like to write, but I'd never associated my love of reading and writing with my English classes in school. It's always kind of been my goal as a teacher to not be the teacher I had, or to be the kind of teacher I wanted to have when I was in school. So we've talked a little bit about the writing workshop, the way it's student-centered, the way it's active. Students are always doing things. There's very rarely, only for short periods of time, when teachers talking and students just sitting there or taking notes down. Very active, engaged environment. And what are we writing? Well, we're writing genre. We're studying different kinds of writing and different kinds of reading, which is what genre is. And you do those throughout the grades continually. Some of them are going to be the genres that you're familiar with, like fiction, like poetry, like nonfiction, maybe like plays, but some of them might be the more workplace kind of genres, like memos, letters, directions, things like that as well, because all these are different ways that we write and ways that we're called upon to write as well. So in this class, we're going to focus on genre, on literary genres, because that's a lot of what is taught in the public schools, and that's good. We learn by reading stories and learn different techniques as well. So we're going to start by writing a piece of fiction. And a way to start about writing fiction is to write a story based on our own experience. So I want you to list, I don't know, maybe, I'm sorry, open your journal, go to the first, because your first section should be writing. And remember, the pages are numbered on the right-hand side. You don't write on the left-hand side. Why write only on the right-hand side, according to Anderson, according to our textbook? Got a thought? See, here's what I wrote for one entry, and then here are the comments and notes and suggestions, some of which I made and other people made. So the idea of writing on one side is you go back and read it and come up with ideas and revise and get feedback, or give yourself feedback on the other side as well. So go to your very first page of writing, number it, whatever page it is. You might have already started writing. If not, number it number 1 or whatever page it is. I always date my entries. Today's July 7th, 2022. And let's list about 5 things, 5 events from our life that we think might make for a good story. Okay, some of us are still coming up with ideas, so there's no rush. Okay, I'm going to start calling on people based on the way they're arranged on my Zoom call. It might be different order on yours. Catherine, what are some things that you might write about?
So one of them was my first concert experience because I met a really cool couple there.
Ah,
And then another one, I was supposed to be a triplet, but me and my twin brother sort of uh
push the other one out.
yeah.
Okay.
And then so I don't have all five yet.
Well, you don't have to have five. It was just an idea.
Okay.
Just a list of ideas. Yeah, I mean that's I mean a lot of stuff there. What was the concert?
Oh, it was a 21 Pilots concert.
21 Pilots.
Yeah, it was really
Yeah.
cool because
Yeah.
we ended up going to their wedding, the couple
Oh,
that we met.
wow,
Yeah.
cool. And of course, having a twin, there's all kinds of tales. And
Oh yeah.
you're also unusual in that you're fraternal and a twin of a different gender, which
Yeah.
also can all kinds of stories there, I'm sure. Okay. Rosalinda, what are some things you might write about?
When I moved out of my mom's house, when I moved to Corpus,
Mhm.
the first day of college, and then when I went to Concan one summer.
Okay. Big life events, moving, beginning college, good topics to write about as well. Kayla.
I wrote down my flat tire, my trip to Colorado, and fire alarms at a hotel.
Okay. Two or three, the three are travel based and flat tire. First time you deal with it,
Yeah.
it's an event. It's something that you overcome and then you feel a little bit more able. Yeah. Cool. America.
Hello. Okay, so I have the time I ran over myself with my own car.
With your own car. Wow.
That's an interesting story. And then I have moving to a new city. I put mental health journey.
Mhm.
To Colorado. And then I have like when I got my puppy.
Okay. You froze up there for a bit. I got running over yourself. Was it moving to a new city, mental health journey, and the puppy? Okay.
Yes, and then I just have vacation to Colorado. Kind of just threw out some random stuff.
Yeah, vacation to Colorado as well. Yeah, lots of stuff there. I think all of us are curious about running over yourself with your own car, but any of those could be good topics as well. I wrote cow tipping, which is a myth, by the way. Pearl's death is my longtime pup passed away. Hurricane Harvey. I think all of us who are from this part of the world have a Harvey experience. Seeing Top Gun with my children, which I know sounds like not that big a deal, but I saw that movie when I was in my 20s and it made a big impact on me. And then seeing the sequel with my kids was really kind of cool. And my wife and I recently celebrated our 20th anniversary. So any of those could work as well. So before we start writing, something I noticed, and it took me about 10 years of teaching writing to figure this out. In class, I would go and I'd say, okay, let's write about blank, whatever it was. And about half my students would pick up their paper and immediately start writing. and the other half would kind of do this. So maybe they'd go to the bathroom, get water, roll their pen, and eventually they'd sit down and start writing. And for the first 10 years of my teaching career, I thought the students who immediately settled down and started writing were serious because they were all business and they just got the job done. And about year of 10 teaching, I noticed the procrastinators, the ones who kind of stalled and stretched and fiddled with their pen or fiddled with their hair scratched, they were doing better writing. So why do you think the procrastinators wrote better than the ones who dove in and were all business?
Maybe they were a little more relaxed and had a little bit more time to think about exactly what they wanted to write.
More relaxed, and ding, 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 the magic word, time to think about what they're going to write. If there is a formula to good writing, it's good planning equals good writing. And the students who just dove right in, maybe they just had one idea, that was the only idea they had, and they didn't consider if they want to write about it, if it was a good idea, if they had a lot to say. Like on my own list right here, I will write about my dog's death someday, but it's relatively recent. It's still painful, and I couldn't write about it well today. So it's a good topic, but I'm not gonna do it as well. Some other ones, two or three things I think I could get a good story, and other ones like kind of so they plan, they try out 2 or 3 different ideas as well. That's part of why we're trying out 2 or 3 different stories, ideas as well. So why don't we just look at one of these lists, look at this list, pick one of the things. You're not marrying it, you're not stuck with it the rest of your life, but let's write on this topic for about 10 minutes and see what we come up with. Okay. Hmm. Well, I went away there for a minute. Sorry about that. Okay. Why don't we stop there? And we're going to take a minute. I'm going to have you read what you wrote out loud. I'm going to have the person sort of next to your on the Zoom screen respond. And when you respond, I want you to give a very specific comment about what the author did well. It's good, it flows nice, or I liked it are not helpful comments. They're not specific. I like this particular phrase. I like the way they use verbs. I like the technique that they use. So things like that. So I'm going to have Catherine go first, and I'm going to ask Kayla to respond. So Catherine, thank you for volunteering to go first because you're at the top of my screen. So
Okay. Do I say what it was I wrote about first, or do I just read?
whatever you want to do.
Okay, then I'll just read.
All righty.
So I had a friend that lived in Washington while I lived in New Mexico. We met online and had been friends for about 7 years now. After having known each other for a few years, we decided we wanted to send the other things we had purchased or made ourselves. I had sent him my favorite book, my favorite local cinnamon rolls, a few drawings I had made, and I sent him a packet of his favorite flowers. He sent me his favorite book, 2 packets of sunflower seeds, a puppy stuffed animal, a hoodie, and a candle of his favorite scent, which was lavender. We were both really excited to get our gifts. I immediately set out to light the candle. I kept thinking while I was using it that the smoke of it was bothering me quite a bit. I didn't pay too much attention to it, but after a few uses, I mentioned the problem to my mom. I told her how I kept feeling my eyes burn and my throat would feel tight and start to close up. She looked at me and told me it sounded like a pretty bad allergy. I had never had an allergic reaction before, so I had assumed it was from smoke inhalation. I still have the candle, but my friend and I have an inside joke now about how he tried to kill me with a candle. And I am grateful that I found out about the allergy in that manner because my workplace was selling lavender coffee and I was actually wanting to purchase it. And I'm grateful I actually did not drink that.
Okay. Kayla, one thing that's good about Catherine's writing.
I would say I like how she set it up with the details, and that when she introduced her allergy, that like caught me off guard because I was so invested in the gifts.
Yeah, I had a similar reaction. She got, the hoodie, the animals, a lot of very specific things that were listed as well. And it was well set up, but unexpected. The calendar, I had no idea where it was going, but I thought, oh, you meet somebody online and maybe it wasn't going to be a good thing. But turns out it was a perfectly innocent gift that had a very bad reaction. Yeah. And then she extended it to the idea of the lavender coffee, which I've never heard of lavender coffee, but I'm glad you didn't drink it either as well. Yeah, great story, little vignette, kind of an ironic twist. If you decide you want to develop it more for a story, more details, like what was the book that you sent, things like that as well. Maybe you could share some dialogue, him talking, her talking, him talking, you talking, your mom talking, things like that as well. But good start. Thank you for sharing that. Kayla, you read and Rosalinda will be your respondent.
I wrote about my trip to Colorado, and I'll just start. It was my first time out of the state of Texas. We decided to drive up to save some money, and also because my mom is scared to fly. She says her fear of heights makes her panic. It took a full day of driving and then some. After restless hours of sitting in the car, excitement filled the cramped and overstuffed vehicle. We saw mountains that looked straight out of a painting surrounding us. They were big and covered with snow. We pulled out our cameras, not wanting to forget a single detail of this moment. Then there's my mom, who has herself surrounded with pillows and draped in blankets to obstruct any view of the outside. She's afraid of heights. We had forgotten during all the excitement, and that's as far as I got.
Okay, Rosalinda, your response to Kayla.
I like how descriptive like you are. You can have someone picture what the car looked like, the mountains, the snow. It's really good when someone's reading this; they could imagine it in their head.
Yeah, excitement filled the vehicle we were in. That was a nice sentence as well. The description of the mountains with the snow, and then mom with pillows. And I like because there's also a nice little symmetry to it because at the very beginning, oh, we flew because mom's afraid of heights. And then it seems like a throwaway detail, but you flip back in, and at the end, it becomes a really important part of the story. And just this image of mom surrounded by pillows so she can't see. Yeah, because I was thinking, okay, mountains and mom's afraid of heights, maybe a trip to Amarillo might have been better. But anyway, so all righty. Good stuff. Thanks for sharing that. Rosalinda, I'm going to ask you to read, and America, I'll ask you to be the respondent.
I wrote about when I moved to Corpus. Someone had mentioned mental health journey, so I kind of typed that in.
Okay.
I wrote, when I moved to Corpus, there was a lot of mixed feelings. I was sad to leave all my close friends, but also relieved to move out of a toxic home environment, but still sad to leave my siblings. After taking some time to settle into this new place called home, I started my first job in the fast food industry, which was nasty. Then I started my first semester of college. It was a tough start because I had already felt so behind, considering I had to take remedial classes. As time passed by, there were several things going on in my life, good and bad. 2 years had gone by, and I realized I was not happy with my degree, or my major, sorry. And that's as far as I got.
Okay. America, something specific you liked about Rosalinda's work?
I really enjoyed how it flowed. I was actually the one that mentioned mental health journey, and it honestly probably would have gone similar to you. I recently moved to San Antonio, and kind of like you said, it was like nice to get away from a toxic environment, but it's hard when I moved to San Antonio a year ago, but my family's here in Corpus. So it's hard being away from my 14-year-old brother and my siblings and family. So I like how your story flowed, and you're also super relatable because other people are also going through that struggles, especially with the major change.
Yeah, and some nice specific details. The fast food industry, I found myself wanting to hear more about that and why it's nasty as well. I mean, I have a good idea. My children worked in the fast food industry as well. You felt behind. A lot of people do in college. I thought that was something that to use her word, relatable as well. And the idea of being 2 years in and thinking, maybe I'm in the wrong major. That's I think a lot of us have had that, and that can be panic mode time if we're not careful. So good stuff. So America, I'm going to ask you to read, and Catherine will be your respondent.
Okay. I went ahead and did the running over myself story.
Okay.
So I tried to kind of put it in a story perspective. So a senior in high school with a brand new car. I never felt so free. Any excuse to give my new wheels a spin. Let's just say this excuse wasn't worth the pain it caused. It was a chilly December night. All I wanted was a hot chocolate and a drive down Candy Cane Lane. I was quickly reminded how my mom said I shouldn't be driving past 10. Well, she wasn't home. She would never find out, right? I looked at my sister and she said, "Why not? Let's go." Here we go, some nice hot chocolate and pretty Christmas lights. As the evening came to an end, I pulled into the driveway with a sigh of relief. What a success. I thought mom would never find out. Only it wasn't the end. As I put the car in park, I forgot one little detail, the brake. As the car slowly rolled down my hill-like driveway, I tried to grab the brake, but it was too late. Thump, I hit the ground as I rolled, and up the tire went over my leg. Ouch. Just reliving the pain hurts. And I didn't get to finish the rest.
Okay, Catherine, response.
I definitely like how you wrote the story. It felt really similar to some of the young adults books that I would read when I was younger. I also thought it was really funny how you thought your mom would never find out, and then you ran over your own foot. A little bit relatable, not like running over your own foot. Like I haven't had that happen to me, but like the incident of
In fact, I still have the tire mark.
oh my god.
Okay.
Uh,
Start again. It was a what, September night, that line?
I said, this wasn't the pain. It was a chilly December night. All I wanted was a hot chocolate and a drive down Candy Cane Lane.
Stop
I
there.
was quickly reminded.
Stop there.
Okay.
It was a chilly December night. All I wanted was a cup of hot chocolate and a drive down Candy Cane Lane. That is an opener. If you just started your story there, that's immediately invites you into the story. I mean, that's the opener for a short story or a novelette right there. I mean, that's just that opening line that invites you in, starts the world. Yeah, yeah, really good stuff. I wish I had written that line. That's good stuff.
Thank you.
So, only fair, since I asked you all to do this, I do it as well. How can you tell if a cow's asleep? Jim Bob Jesse asked. They're still and their heads are down, said Forbearance. Ladies, I said, this is a bad idea. I told you cow tipping is something seniors try to trick freshmen into doing. It ain't real. A person can't knock a cow over. It's not possible. You're just a doubting Thomas, said Jim Bob Jesse. It's cause he's Methodist, Forbearance said. If he was a real Christian, he'd have faith. So to prove I've got faith, I've got to run and tackle a cow, I asked. Pretty much, Forbearance said. That one over there, said Jim Bob Jesse. That one by herself. I think she's asleep. Okay, said Forbearance. We're going to aim for her right front shoulder. We're going to run right at her. I'll go low, Jim Bob Jesse, you go for the middle, and Pete, you hit her high. Wait, I yelled, but she'd already taken off running. I had no choice but to follow. And that's as far as I got. So it's going to be my cow tipping story. Try to have characters who talk dialogue and have action. So we'll see what happens with that. So before we go on, how many of y'all write very often by hand? Or did anybody get the kind of cramped hand just a little bit? Like I haven't done this in a while. One of the reasons I have you all do this is how your students are going to be writing. And I want you to just remember what it's like as well. There's also some different things about actually writing with a pen. It makes you slow down. It makes you be a little more present. It helps you think a little bit more about what you're saying as well. What was it like to read your work out loud to other people like this, Catherine?
Well, I guess because usually before I do a speech, like in speech class or something, I'm able to practice it multiple times, so I don't tend to mess up on my words.
Mhm.
So I did mess up a few times on my words. Is
Okay.
all I can really think about.
Okay. Kayla, what was it like to read your work out loud?
It's a little intimidating at first, but everybody seemed pretty welcoming. So that fear kind of went away.
I'm glad that you said that. A lot of people do feel that kind of fear or intimidation initially. It's like, ooh, they're judging me. But if you set up a helpful and supportive environment, then it can be a good experience. Rosalinda, what was it like to read out loud?
For someone who comes off shy, it is very intimidating because you don't have preparation. You don't give yourself, there's no preparation time. So it's just go off for it.
So there's no time to really worry. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And what about you, America?
For me, it kind of made me like fall in love with my writing in a way. Like it's one thing kind of like just writing it, but getting to like relive the experience and kind of like I have fun like acting it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of how I wanted to give it more of like a story twist. So like if, putting myself in the shoes, if like I was writing a book and someone was reading my story, it kind of like got me excited for my writing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because it's important to have readers. And that's often what's so much of what's missing in a lot of public school writing is nobody reads your work, and you got feedback, and you know how people respond. So good stuff. So we're going to keep on now. We're going to write for about 10 more minutes. and you have a choice. You can keep on with the story that you're writing, or you can look over your list and say, hey, I think I want to try something else. So just take a moment or two to think, decide, am I going to continue what I'm doing, or am I going to do something else? And then just keep on writing. Hi, Amber. We're just about finishing up right now. Okay. We have been working on our short story. We came up with a list of 5 stories or 5 events from our life that we thought might make for a good story. And we wrote on 10 minutes, and then we shared our work with each other. And then we decided to either keep on writing that story or to try another one. So that's where we're at. Okay, and that takes us to the 10 minutes of our writing time. Catherine, did you continue the story or did you try a new one?
I tried a new one.
Okay, what's the new story that you tried?
A time I made some really disgusting ramen.
Really disgusting ramen.
Horrible.
Food stories are always interesting. Kayla, did you keep on writing on the same one or did you try a new one?
I kept writing.
Kept writing. Okay. Rosalinda,
I kept writing as well.
kept writing as well. America,
Uh.
did you keep on writing the same story? Or did you try a
Sorry,
new
I
one?
thought it was still on mute, so I was going to unmute it, but I
Okay.
kept writing the same story.
Kept writing the same one as well. Yeah, I kept on writing the same one as well, although last time I changed. So anyway, that's where we're at. So again, we've talked about the workshop method. Remember, we're trying we're going to be regularly working together to write together. And we're going to be experiencing some genres. So we're going to be writing some fiction, poetry, memoirs, or personal essays. And then one of these sessions, we're actually going to sit down together and grade some papers as well. And so we're going to each write a complete short story, a collection of poems, and a personal essay or a memoir as well. And then at the very end, we're going to select one that we think is our best work, and we're going to put it together, going to put it in an anthology, which will be published on Amazon. So you'll become a published writer out of this class, if nothing else. So that'll be something to look forward to as well. So remember, we're working on our short stories. We've got drafts of those coming up. So try to write a little, and again, I'm not saying make it like your life's work, but try to write on your short story a little bit every day, 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, just a little bit of time. And you'll find that if you keep on coming back to the same work over and over again, you'll get this richness, you'll get some ideas. And if you write a little bit regularly over a long period of time, you'll be surprised at the interesting things that happen in your writing. So try and write in your journal 4 or 5 times a week. Work on our short story until it's time to complete the short story. At some point, you'll get to the point where you just think, okay, I need to finish up and type it up. And if that's fine, you just want to write on your journal, I typed my story up, that's fine as well. But try to work on it regularly for the next week and a half or so. And we will meet again next week at the same time. And I will look forward to seeing what you come up with. And that's going to complete our time. If you have questions, I will stick around until everybody is done. And if not, y'all can take off. So either goodbye or hang around and ask questions, one or the other. So, okay.
Bye, Professor. Thank you.
Bye. Take care. Thanks, Catherine.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, Kayla. Bye, Rosalinda. You have a question, America?
Yes, I just have one question. I don't know why I thought class started last week and your emails were going to Clutter, so I didn't see. So I wasn't quite finished with the stuff that was due on Wednesday.
Just get it in.
Can I still submit that?
Yeah, just get it in. Yeah, the first week on an online class is always kind of wonky.
Okay,
so
cool.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
I did the good, and I did the acquainted and the good and bad experience, but I need to go back and do the classmate entries, and then I need to do the comparison of standards. And I already set up my journal. I just hadn't sent a picture in. So
Okay, sounds good.
yeah, but thank you so much. I
All
had
right.
fun.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Glad you came in. Glad you told your
Bye.
story. So,
Okay.
all right. Amber, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
How may I help you?
I'm so sorry. I'm in a completely different time zone and it hasn't hit my head. I'm in a different time zone yet.
Oh my goodness. Bless your heart. Well,
So what's the short story supposed to be on?
Anything you want to write about it, it can be your own experience. What I was going to say is you're actually fortunate because I taped this session, or I recorded this session. So I can just send you the link and you can get a sense of what we did, and you can just sit along and do the activities along with us. And then you can just take a picture from your journal of the work that you did and email it to me, and you can catch up as well. But basically what we did was we were looking for some of our own personal experiences that we could turn into a short story. Doesn't have to be about any specific thing, just a story that you think's worth telling. Does that make sense? Mm. You're back.
Okay, my laptop died.
Okay, bless your heart. Yeah, I was about to send you an email. I'm not sure how much of what I said you heard. So, but are you clear about what the short story is supposed to be about?
No, my Zoom froze right before you started talking.
Okay, alrighty. So the first thing I said is that I did record the session today, so you can just watch it, listen along, do the activities that we did in this group, and then you can just take a picture of your journal and email them to me, and I can just give you credit for that as well. And that would substitute for this time. But the idea of the short story is to just take an experience that you have had that you think would make a good story, people would enjoy reading about, and then turn it into a short story. And that's pretty much it. Just fictionalize or tell with, characters, action, dialogue, a personal experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And what time zone are you in right now?
I'm in Mountain Time.
Oh, you're in Mountain Time. Well, I'm from El Paso, so I'm used to living an hour behind Central Time as well. So okay.
That's where I'm at right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What part of town you from?
Right now I'm on the east side.
Yeah, it's where my sister and a lot of my family lives there as well. I went to El Paso High, which is kind of more the central area, but we moved out of there a long time ago. So anyway, so, okay. Well, good to talk to a fellow El Pasoan. And like I said, I think if you can just watch the video and do the activity that we did and just send me a picture of what you've written, I think you'll be fine. So
All right.
anything else I can help you with?
No,
All
that
righty.
was it.
Well, I'm always an email or a call away if you need me. So thank
All
you.
right,
And
thank you.
I guess I'll see you next week, Amber. All right.
All right.
Thank-
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.